Welcome back to our video lecture series on course titled Fluid Mechanics 2. This is our 23rd lecture, and in this lecture, we are going to discuss water hammer in pipes. We have discussed this topic previously in the lecture of compressibility. As the name itself indicates that water hammer, it is itself indicating that hammer generated due to the water in pipes, that is hammering effect of water in the pipes. To understand this better, we will consider one tank in which water is available with the with the height of h, and at the bottom of tank one pipe is provided through which flow of water is taking place with the velocity v, and the pipe is having length. Sorry, the pipe is having length L. This is the length L of pipe, and at the end of that pipe we have provided one wall at point B. Now this pressure is taking place under the this flow is taking place under pressure, that is pressurized flow. We know that whenever the flow is flowing through the closed channel, closed conduit, and if it is totally full, then that is said to be a pressurized flow. Then in that case there will be a pressure head plus velocity head, and obviously one datum head is there. And if I'm considering this pipe and at 2 points reference point at the same level, then datum head would be neglected. So total energy available in this pipe is the pressure energy plus kinetic energy. Now with these two energy, this liquid is flowing in the downstream direction towards this wall. Now if I close this particular valve which is provided at the downstream at the length L from the tank, and if I close that valve suddenly, now what will happen? I am retarding that flow, I am closing that valve, and I am reducing the velocity, I am reducing the kinetic energy to the zero. So what I am doing here, I am reducing my velocity from v to 0. Now due to this reduction of velocity, as we know that energy of the water or energy of the fluid always remain constant. Now due to that principle, or with the reference of that principle, we can say that due to the reduction of this velocity from v to 0, obviously another energy will be increased. That is mean that this velocity energy, velocity head or kinetic energy will be get converted into the pressure energy. So due to the closure of this valve, whatever the velocity or velocity head or kinetic energy will be get converted into the pressure energy. Now due to the conversion of that, obviously there will be a sudden increase in the pressure. There will be a pressure rise, and due to that one wave will be formed, that is pressure wave will be formed, and which is going to move in the upstream direction. Now there will be a number of those kind of waves will be generated at this valve, and which is going to move in the upstream direction, and those pressure wave which are having a huge pressure intensity because of already velocity head or kinetic energy has been converted into the pressure energy, and with that higher pressure intensity, those waves are going to strike on the walls of the pipe. Now those waves or those uh, pressure wave may create a hammering effect or may create a noise at the pipe wall, and that's why this phenomena is known as water hammer or hammer blow effect. Now whenever the so if we look at the definition, it is the phenomena in which sudden rise of pressure is takes place due to the closing of valve, or sudden rise of pressure is taking place due to suddenly decreasing velocity of water to the zero. That means that due to the sudden reducing the velocity of the water to the zero, in that case there will be a sudden increment in the pressure, and the pressure wave will be generated, and this increase or decrease in pressure or pressure wave is known as water hammer effect. And obviously due to the reduction in velocity, whatever the momentum available with water, that will be totally getting destroyed, and due to the destruction, obviously that will be there will be an increase in pressure, and that pressure will going to move in the upstream direction. Now if we talk about the factors on which this water hammer effect is going to depend, so obviously the first thing, the speed at which valve has been closed. You might have observed this water hammer effect phenomena at your home as well. So if you are living at the ground floor, and let us consider a building of 2 to 3 stories, and water is coming from the roof of the building, in that case if you close your valve suddenly, in that case you might have heard that sound, knocking sound, or that noise which is created in the that particular pipe tube, and that's what it is the effect of water hammer effect. One pressure wave will be generated which is moving in the upstream direction. So obviously speed at which valve has been closed going to affect your water hammer effect or your pressure rise, what will be the magnitude of pressure rise. So faster will be the pressure wave closing time, more will be the magnitude of the pressure rise. Velocity of flow, higher will be the velocity of flow, more will be the conversion and more will be the pressure rise. Again, length of pipe, higher will be the length, obviously more will be the pressure rise. Again, elastic properties of the pipe material. What is the elastic pipe and elastic sorry properties of flowing fluid? Obviously higher will be the density of the flowing fluid, higher will be the whatever it is the effect of water hammer effect. And obviously pipe material is going to play important role in the water hammer effect. But if you do not select particular or special type material while considering the water hammer effect, obviously your pipe may get burst due to this particular phenomena, because this pressure intensity or whatever the pressure generated in that water hammer effect is so high that they can burst your pipes, especially at the joints where the joints are taken formed by simple couplings. So at those points your pipe may get burst due to this water hammer effect or due to the sudden rise of water. So obviously those factors are going to play important role while they, considering the magnitude of pressure rise. And obviously as it have an many adverse impact on the pipes or on the material of the pipe or on the flowing condition, so we need to avoid this. So what we can do for the avoiding it or for the minimizing it, the first thing, speed at which valve has been closed. If you reduce the speed and if you take more time to close that valve, if you go gradually, obviously whatever the pressure, whatever the effect of water hammer phenomena has been will be reduced up to the certain extent. Again, velocity of flow, if we maintain the velocity of flow up to the certain extent, obviously water hammer effect would be reduced, pressure rise, whatever the magnitude of pressure rise would be reduced. Again, length of pipe, selecting particular pipe material. Again, obviously this factor we cannot control in most of the cases. The most importantly, velocity. If we consider the example of water hammer effect, generally those water hammer effect kind of phenomena takes place at the hydropower generation at the plant, where water is coming from the dam, and with the huge amount of kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy will be get converted into the pressure energy. So at the top of the dam there will be a hydropower station, and we are taking that water with the higher amount of kinetic energy. More will be the kinetic energy, more will be the mechanical energy produced by turbine, and more will be the energy supplied to the generator, where more will be the output power of electricity. Now if we are going to reduce this velocity, obviously lesser amount of kinetic energy will be available here. So this is really not practical in those cases. So instead of going to minimize it, we are going to take into a consideration while going to design the pipe. So it is going to play important role, and it should be get considered while designing the pipe material. And wherever the situation where water hammer effect may takes place, so we need to consider that water hammer effect or sudden pressure rise in the design of particular pipe. So we will derive the particular equation. What will be the intensity of pressure by which water hammer effect has how much pressure, what is the intensity of that pressure wave which has been generated due to the water hammer. The first thing, we are going to determine the time required by the pressure wave to travel from well to tank and tank to valve. So as we know, as we have discussed just now, whenever we are going to close this valve, one pressure wave will be generated in the pipe, and which is going to move in the which is going to transmit, or which is going to move towards the upstream direction, and again it is going to move back towards the downstream direction. So how much time it will take, that we can simply calculate by dividing this distance with velocity by which that pressure wave has been traveled. So time taken to reach this pressure wave to the tank and again back to the valve, how much time it will take, that is distance traveled by valve to tank and tank to valve divided by velocity of pressure wave. So if the velocity of pressure valve is c and the length of pipe is l, so my wave is coming from this point b to point a, that's distance traveled by l. Again that is going back to the point b from a to b, again l plus l, so 2l by c. This is our equation, time required by the pressure wave to travel from the valve to tank and tank to valve. So remember this equation, we are going to make use it to define whether you have closed your valve suddenly or gradually, that is depend on this particular ratio, T is equal to 2L upon C. Now let us consider uh, a long pipe carrying a liquid and provided with the valve at the end, and we are going to consider the one case where we are going to close this valve gradually. Obviously there may be two possibilities: we have closed this valve gradually and we have closed this valve suddenly. So we will go one by one. First case, the gradual closure of the valve. So let us consider the same phenomena what we have considered previously. A is the area of cross section of pipe, L is the length of pipe, V is the velocity of flow of water in the pipe, T is the time required to close the valve. Remember that T is the time required to close this valve, how much time you have taken to close this valve in seconds, and P is the intensity of pressure wave which has been produced in the pipe due to the closure of the valve. Now whatever the mass enclosed in this particular pipe section, that will be given by the density multiplied by volume of the pipe, volume of the that liquid. So that will be given by uh, volume, sorry, here it is volume, and here it is volume is given by density multiplied by area multiplied by length of pipe. Obviously this density is having a unit of kg per meter cube. If I multiply it with volume, obviously kg per meter cube multiplied by meter cube will give me the kg. So I am calculating here mass of liquid contained in the pipe is rho a al. Now we are considering the first case where gradual closure of valve. That means that the rate of closure of valve is so adjusted that liquid in the column in pipe is brought to rest with the uniform retardation. What is mean by uniform retardation? We are slowly and slowly reducing our velocity from v to 0. So with this consideration, we are going to derive the equation. First, we need to define what are the pressure forces or forces acting due to this formation of water hammer effect. The first pressure which is going to act due to the retardation, as we know, the force is given by F is equal to mass into force is equal to mass into acceleration. So mass into acceleration. Now in this case, in our case, there is no acceleration, there is retardation of the flow. Now retardation retardation can be calculated as initial velocity minus final velocity divided by t. So I can calculate here mass which is given by rho multiplied by E multiplied by L, that is our mass, multiplied by what is our retardation. Retardation will be given by initial velocity, that is change in velocity, minus final velocity, which is going to give me the initial change in velocity, initial velocity minus final velocity divided by time. This is what our retardation. This equation is going to give me the force which is generated due to the retardation. At the same time, here it is the equation for axial force generated due to the retardation, that is rho al multiplied by v divided by t, the v minus 0, that is v by t is the retardation of the water. At the same time, force due to the pressure wave can also be computed as p multiplied by area of cross section on which this force is acting. Now those two forces are both are equal, this one and this one both are equal, so we are going to equate those two forces. So what we are getting here, by equating those two forces, by equating those two equations, rho al multiplied by v by t is equal to p multiplied by a. So if I want to compute the equation for the p, that is pressure intensity of the wave generated in the pipe, that is given by rho l v upon t. Now this simple equation, remember this equation, hope you understood how to derive it, how we have derived it. The simple equation indicating that this whatever the pressure intensity will be directly proportional to the density, to the length of pipe, and to the velocity what we have discussed previously, and it is inversely proportional to the time. So more will be the time, lesser will be the pressure, and less will be the time, more will be the pressure. More sudden will be the closure, more will be the intensity of the pressure, and more gradual will be the closure of the well, that is more time will be taken, obviously less will be the pressure intensity. So remember this equation because it is going to play important role while we are going to calculate pressure intensity in the pipes due to the water hammer. Now as we know that this P can also be defined as P is equal to rho g h. Now if I put that value here rho g h, so I can compute that h is nothing but head available in the tank. So in terms of that head, I can write down that same equation, h is equal to LV upon GT, where L is the length, V is the velocity, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and T is the time taken for the closing the valve. Now, as we have derived previously equation, time of the closing of the valve, that is 2L upon C. Now, if this ratio 2L upon C is greater than whatever the time you have taken to close the valve, in that case, it is said that you have closed that valve gradually. But if this ratio, sorry, this time taken, whatever to close that valve, is more than the ratio of 2L upon C, the value of 2L by C, then it is said to be a gradual. And if your time taken for the closing valve is less than the ratio of 2L upon C, then it is said to be a instantaneous closure of the valve, where C is the velocity of the pressure wave. C is the velocity of the pressure wave. Hope you understood those two derivations. Remember this formula. P is equal to rho L V upon T, and T is equal to 2L upon C, where T is the time taken to close the valve, and if that time taken is greater than the ratio of 2L by C, then it is gradual closure of the valve, and if it is less than 2L by C, then it is instantaneous closure of the valve. Remember those two conditions. Those are the references which I have used to prepare this presentation. Thank you for watching.